worried about retribution after the fact? There was threats that folks that weren't going to vote for McCarthy would be kicked off committees. Now you've put yourself in a pretty public position opposing the person that could be the speaker. Are you worried about retribution?
Man, I'm 6'2", 275. I'm not worried about that.
How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about GOP House Rep from Florida, Naples, Florida, Byron Donalds, being the front runner to be the runner-up in the Speaker of the House race. Let me explain. Now, we all know what's happening right now in the House. There's a battle going on. You have the Freedom Caucus. It's about 20 or so people in the GOP who are refusing to vote for Kevin McCarthy as the next Speaker of the House. Everybody else is pretty much in lockstep saying, hey, vote Kevin McCarthy. Let's get him in there. Trump has said it. Elon Musk has said it. Marjorie Taylor Greene has said it. A lot of people on the right, in politics, out of politics, big figures have said, hey, get McCarthy in there. Let's get on with the show. But many people are saying, no, McCarthy, he's just more of the swamp. We don't want that. We want real change in Washington. So we're going to go a different direction. At first, the main pick was Jim Jordan, okay? Even after Jim Jordan gave a speech on the floor, on the House floor, people still were voting for Jim Jordan as an alternative to Kevin McCarthy. And then they switched from Jim Jordan to Byron Donalds. Now, he's been in office for about 2 years. He's a black House rep. We'll get to that in a minute. And personally, I like Byron Donalds. I've not met him before. I don't know him, but I see him on TV all the time, and he always says the right things to me, so I like the guy. I think he's a good House rep. He has a very bright future. Maybe he'll be the Speaker of the House one day. Maybe it's right now. Who knows? However, not everyone is as positive as I am on Byron Donalds. You see, the left don't like him, probably because he is a big threat. You're talking about a black male, a strong black male voice in the GOP. He could attract more of us over there. And they know if they go below that 90% rate as far as black voting for the Democratic Party, they got a problem. If they go to 80%, they won't win anymore. We're talking about tight races controlled by that vote. Now, Cori Bush is one particular person, a House rep from where? St. Louis, Missouri, I think. On the left, of course, she does not like Byron Donalds. So she had a few choice words for him on the Twitter. And of course, I have a tweet, and I will place this in the description box if you want to read it right there. But let's check it out. FWIW. What does that stand for? I don't even really know. Y'all let me know in the comments. Byron Donalds is not an historic candidate for speaker. He is a prop. Despite being black, he supports a policy agenda intent on upholding and perpetuating white supremacy. His name being in the mix is not progress, it's pathetic. Now, this is what she says about Byron Donalds, basically saying they're using him just because he's black, he's a prop, all this and that and the third. A typical racist stuff you hear from the left. Now, I guarantee you this, just as an obvious observation, if anyone on the right say anything close to this about anybody at all, doesn't matter if they're on the left, right, in politics, out of politics, dead, alive, if they say anything close to this, then it'd just be racist straight away. It doesn't matter if it was about a black person from a black person, about a white person from a white person, from white to black to black to white. It doesn't matter. They'd be considered racist right away. It wouldn't be an argument. It wouldn't be a discussion. That'll just be what it is, and that's it. But Cori Bush can say it, and it's not really a big deal. But to me, this is, because this is the kind of stuff we have to deal with on the right by being conservative. We get outright racism, and then it's up to us to try and we gotta highlight it and then explain why it's racist, because the other side will defend it till the cows come home. That's pretty much how they operate. Now, there's an article right here where she actually explains this tweet in full. And like I said, this will be in the box if you want to read it for yourself without my commentary. But you see the headline, like we already know what's going on. Rep. Cori Bush says Republicans are using black speaker candidate as a prop. That's why I was talking about his race earlier, because she brought it up, talking about the race. Oh, they're using him as a prop. He's only been there 2 years. They didn't promote him before. They're just using him. Let's keep on going here. and get into it. Quote, I want them to understand they're only using you, the Missouri Democrat told HuffPost over ultra-conservative colleague Rep. Byron Donalds. This is on Huffington Post, by the way. So when you see certain words, ultra-conservative, all this and that and the third, you know where that's coming from. That's coming from them trying to label the other side as a certain kind of thing. Just like what Joe Biden and the rest of the Democratic Party do, talking about ultra MAGA, super MAGA, all this and that, trying to other people to make them be the enemy so they can gain leverage over them in the eyes of the general public, because they know the general public kind of seizes on stuff like that. And they've trained them to be like that in K through 12 in college. But different story about academia brainwashing. So I digress. Let's keep on going here. Rep. Cori Bush, Democrat from Missouri, blasted Republicans on Wednesday for claiming to advance racial equality amid their infighting in the House of Representatives, saying they were using her fellow black lawmaker, Rep. Byron Donalds from Florida, as a prop. Conservative members who refused to back Rep. Kevin McCarthy from California as new Speaker of the House rallied around Donalds on Wednesday, giving him 20 votes for the speakership in the fourth and fifth rounds of voting. While nominating Donalds, Rep. Chip Roy from Texas referenced civil rights icon MLK and said Republicans do not seek to judge people by the color of the skin, but rather the content of their character. Now, I'm going to just pause right here. Some are going to say that maybe Chip Roy shouldn't have mentioned it. Maybe nobody on the right should mention that he's black, and talking about who actually freed the slaves, stuff like that. They say that they shouldn't say it, but at the same time, they say that there's no outreach on the right. They don't reach out to the black community. They don't say why they should get the black community's vote. I'm kind of confused. Either be going to reach out to them and explain why they should vote for us, or we're not. And if we're not, then you're right about not saying certain things. But if we're not going to reach out, then we're wrong for not reaching out. So what do you want? Do you want to just not say anything and not get that vote? That's probably the ultimate goal here. As I said earlier in the video, they don't want a guy like Byron Donalds or me or anybody else to attract more black and quote unquote minority people to the right, because they lose power on the left. It's very simple, but let's keep on going. The nomination meant that for the first time in history, both major parties nominated a black candidate to run the House. Democrats backed Rep. Hakeem Jeffries, who leads their caucus. Of course, Nancy Pelosi resigned, whatever you want to say, because she was going to be out of there due to the Republicans taking the majority in the House. So they rallied around Hakeem Jeffries. Let's keep on going here. But Bush noted on Twitter that GOP policies offer little else to combat racism and structural inequities. Quote, despite being black, Donald supports a policy agenda intent on upholding and perpetuating white supremacy, the Missouri Democrat argued. She later expanded on the comments and conservative pushback to her tweet to Huffington Post. My issue is not with Byron Donalds himself. My issue is with him being, my issue is not with him being black. My issue is not with him being Republican. My issue is because he was not someone that they had been promoting for the last 2 years. Now, what does that mean, promoting? I don't understand what that means. Who do they promote? Like you mean for the Speaker of the House? Obviously, the Speaker of the House was supposed to be Kevin McCarthy, because he is not resigned. He is not retired. And the same thing we said about the left. They've not promoted Hakeem Jeffries. The only reason they're promoting him right now is because Nancy Pelosi, at 1,000,000 years old, has decided to step down due to the GOP taking the House. If not for that, then she probably wouldn't have stepped down. Maybe she would have, because she's about to be 1 trillion years old, the oldest human on planet Earth, the oldest human to ever draw breath. Maybe that's why they got to put Hakeem Jeffries in there. If not for that, it'd be more Wicked Witch of the West, Nancy Pelosi. Very simple. So let's not act like that's going on. And as far as just promoting in general, what does that really mean? How many House reps do you actually know? And then I see Donald's on TV all the time. I like what he says. So what more could they have done for Byron Donalds other than what they have done? Also, the majority vote is for Kevin McCarthy, not Byron Donalds, not Jim Jordan, not Chip Roy. So put it into perspective. But let's keep on going here. Though it is unclear who Republicans will ultimately settle on for Speaker, it is extremely unlikely that their choice will be Donalds, who has only served 1 term in Congress. Far-right figures, see, they go that far-right stuff, are also pushing for Rep. Jim Jordan and other more prominent alternatives. All right. The Congresswoman noted that in claiming to be sincerely promoting Donalds, GOP lawmakers spoke about his niceness background, like Jeffrey Donaldson from New York, and his past struggles. Quote, it seems as if they're using him as a prop, as a tool, not because they think that he's great, that he's done all these things to lead them. I don't like what they're using him. I like that they're using him that way. I don't want them to use him that way. And I want them to understand they're only using you. Don't let them do that to you. Make them treat you like with dignity and respect. Well, how is he being treated with disrespect? How is he being treated in an unfair way and in a mean-spirited way? How is that really going on? I don't really see it. And I think that if Byron Donalds was being treated that way, he's a pretty intelligent guy. He'd be able to figure it out. I don't think he needs Cori Bush to let him know how he's being treated and how to best handle himself. I think as a man, you should be able to understand what's going on. You'll need female leadership. But that's a different story, and I don't want to go down that road, so I digress. She continued to hear Chip Roy stand up and say this is not about color is absolutely 100%, because if you were nominating him on his worth and merit, I think none of us would have been surprised because we would have seen him do leadership things. Man, come on, be for real. Like, what does that even mean? I don't think you're going to want anybody on the right to be in a leadership role. You'd rather it be Hakeem Jeffries. You'd rather have control of the House and take over. So it wouldn't matter if it was Nancy Pelosi, Hakeem Jeffries. You would want that to be going on. Furthermore, if it's about leadership and whatnot, and you saying Hakeem Jeffries did that, then why did it take for Nancy Pelosi to get to age 1.8 million for her to step down and then for him to get nominated only in the time where they knew he could not be the Speaker of the House because it wasn't a Democrat House majority? I mean, this is all just BS, political BS to discourage black folks from leaving the Democrat Party. It's so simple. I don't understand how this could be taken any other way. Quote, I'm glad they took offense because it shows their lack of knowledge. It shows how ignorant they are. I need them to read up and understand what white supremacy is, what it looks like, and what the patriarchal system looks like, Bush added. So that's pretty much that. There's more there. If you want to read it, I'll link to it in the box. But as I close, I want to say this. I have a question, matter of fact. I have a question as I close to Cori Bush. Now, what is white supremacy to you? What does that really mean? Does that mean dwindling the black population down due to abortion, due to a lot of these policies that have people in bad situations? Look at the cities in which the Democrats run. I don't really see a lot of prosperity there in the so-called black community. I don't really understand. So what is white supremacy actually like? What is that really? And who's perpetuating it out of anybody? I mean, we could look at this one issue right there, abortion. You guys on the left ran your whole campaign about supporting the right for black, brown, white, whoever, women to kill their own babies. So how was that not a product of white supremacy? Margaret Sanger, I can go down that whole rabbit hole right now. Y'all already know what it is. Like I said, this is just an attempt to maintain power on the left and nothing more. Very simple. And I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? How do you feel about what Cori Bush said here? Is she right? Is she wrong? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. She's 100% wrong, 100% a liar, and 100% just trying to maintain power on her side by using the whole thing about race and white supremacy, all this and that and the third. And at the same time, throwing the black men under the bus, just like you say that they're using him in a negative way. You're doing the exact same thing you are accusing the other side of doing. But it's always like that. There's no surprise there. So whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.